All right, so now we're going to go on. All right, so everyone go ahead and open up the project. Even if you're compiling shaders, you're fine. So if anyone had made any changes, what's going to happen with their multiplayer game is that those changes will only be on your local copy. If they haven't pushed to the cloud, they're not going to be on the cloud copy. So you can always you can gaslight people and say, oh, well, you don't see that tree, and it's on my version. But it's good to always do a roll call and make sure that everyone's at the same engine version. But we all should be at number 1. And source control does slow down the computers just slightly. But it is worthwhile if you're doing a live project. So everyone go into the login level. Again, go to your root content folder, filter by levels if you want to. Find login level. It's underneath the collaborative viewer, maps. And then it is a completely blank map. All right. What it's doing is it's bringing in the menu system from the world settings. If I go into world settings, you can see it has this whole login game mode that loads the menu. Let's go ahead and get rid of there. And then we're not hitting play, we're hitting standalone. So hit the down arrow next to play and go for standalone game. All right, you're working, everyone, okay. Again, you guys are going to be joining a session, and you might have to just specify an IP address and put in from the Slack or the spreadsheet. I'm going to go back and start the server. And again, anyone could do this. It doesn't have to be me. I forgot to put in a name. And you should be able to put in my stuff and join in. Let's see if anyone can make it. The login menu level. It's completely blank. I see somebody. It's WASD. Somebody's hit spacebar or something. So you might be in walk mode. You go into play mode. Oh, a little connectivity issues. And just make sure you do have 0 tier connected.
Search ID although oh, that's gonna be
So join session, yeah, and then specify IP there, yeah. No, that's right. So you see me,
Yeah,
okay.
I just can't.
And you're in standalone game, okay. Try doing it in walk mode on the top right. Does your change to swing to 4.27? What? Alright, well, these things are all searchable, but I can see this thing here. Alright, so you're in, but you can't move around?
It's loading.
It could be a connectivity issue. I definitely see Andrews is connecting, yeah. So I guess this little arrow, this little mail sign is, yeah, that was me. So what I might do is I might load in 4.26 and 4.27 next to each other for next week. 4.26 has proven to work a bunch of times. So I see what mode you are for walking around. Does spacebar work for you? No spacebar? Okay. So what I'll do is, so yeah, I saw Andrew's jump there a little bit. So it's definitely having a little bit of a lag. What I can also do is I can host the server. I might host a server from a computer that's connected to the Ethernet, and then I'll be a client myself, and that way it'll be guaranteed to be a faster server for next week. I'll put it on the computer that's in the mocap room. But we at least can see each other, and you can see that the whole point is that next week we're gonna come together and we're gonna do a scavenger hunt and find each other's homework assignments within the game engine using the tools already built in. So let me show you how to do the homework with the last few minutes we have in class, And then I'll sort out connectivity issues and anything that's any issues you guys might be having. We have office hours on Monday. I think I still have a bunch of spots open. So I'm gonna go ahead and close the server. But I thank you for playing. And what we'll do is we'll make sure we have 426 and 427 next to each other and make sure that there's no bugs with just the engine version we're using. All right. So I've closed the server. You guys are off the hook for the rest of the class. And I'm just going to show you how to do the homework. So the homework is, and we already have a little bit of a head start on this because we already understood the concept of streaming levels or sub-levels. I showed that when I was doing the character introductions demo. What I want us to do is, and kind of flex this whole a collaborative demo template, is that this sample level is actually can be actually it is designed differently this time. I'm gonna have to come through and yeah, so they've changed the way they do it. I knew I was getting myself into trouble. Anyway, it's fine. So what we're going to do is I want you guys to, this is just an exercise and practicing sharing apartments together, right? Like we want to make sure that no one's a dirty slob in our project because that can cost us our client. So it's a little test of just file organization. I'm going to create a folder for us called assets because that's how our style guide dictates. And as we kind of showed already with the Unreal Engine style guide, that the way you work simultaneously is that people have their own levels because you can only have one person in a level at a time. But what you can do is stack levels on top of each other. And so usually at the persistent, in our case, the persistent might just be the camera by itself. And then like the audio person could have an audio map and they could be working, and a lighting person could be in a lighting map. What we're going to do is just have each of us have our own personal map that we could be working on that are all inside of this one level. So I'm going to show you how to navigate that and put that together. First of all, I'm going to make some folders. I'm going to make a folder for materials, and then one for blueprints, and then one for maps. And I'm literally going to do the homework for you in this demo. So I want to bring in my own map because the persistent is checked out by somebody else. I'm going to create a new map, and it's going to be blank. I don't need an environment. I want to make it blank because I'm going to utilize the environment that's already in the persistent one. All right. In my empty level, I'm going to bring in a primitive, and this is what you guys will be doing too. A cube, a sphere, a cylinder, whatever you want. For now, I'll keep it easy and make it easy to find, and I'll put it at 0, 0, 0. You can type in 0, 0, 0. There's also this little thing that says reset default, and it puts it at 0, 0, 0 for you. And then there it is. And then once I add in a light, it'll become actually lit. Even though it's in lit mode, there's no lights, so it's being in unlit mode for us. Lights. You can mess around with any light you want to, or let's keep it to point lights, spotlights, or rectangle lights. I'm going to do a spotlight. And there we go. So here is my asset. It's being lit. And then let's put a material on there. I am going to make a base material for everyone to steal off of. So this is the real midterm. This is the making sure you remember everything we learned so far. So this is called main or master color. And it's just going to be one parameter for color, which is a 3 vector. I hold down 3, click in there, and convert it to a parameter called color. I leave it black. It doesn't matter. No one's ever going to use this material. All right, done with there. So your homework is to make an instance of this material and call it M, whatever your name is. Or actually, it would be MI. It's material instance. So MI, Todd. Choose your favorite color. enable there. Mine's hot pink. and throw that sucker on there. All right. So I have a mesh, a primitive. We're not worried about bringing in things from Quixel or anything like that right now. You have a light we brought in. We have a blank map that's called our name. And now I'm going to save all. My map is going to be called under assets, under maps. It's going to be LVL Todd. And then if I come back to the collaborative map, that's the wrong one. Come back to this one. If you don't have levels open, you can find your levels here, and it opens up. I'm going to add my map to it. There's my light. There's my mesh. And there's my map. Right now, it's highlighted blue, so that means that it's the active one. Anything I add in will be added to my map. It won't actually be added to the persistent level. And the blue dot means that it's only loaded via blueprints. We want to make sure that it's actually always loaded. And then, if I was to hit play, my asset would be there. If I didn't say always loaded, it wouldn't be there. All right, so now we can find it. Cool. But I want to move it somewhere else. I don't have that many items in here. I can just select the light and the object and move it. But if you start making more complicated submaps, if you come over to Outlier, you can say just show me what's in the current level, and then there's my two objects right here. So this is the easiest way to select everything, like Control A and select everything. And then I want to find a place because we're going to do a location scouting session, and I want to have my stuff over here. Now I'll move it up. And I want to make my spotlight movable just so I don't have any light baking stuff. And then I can adjust it, and it's only reflecting my map. Right? I can make it brighter, or I can even make it a hot pink on hot pink crime. It's affecting all maps. If I took this over, they're on top of each other at the same time. But this is lighting things in here as well. Or should be. Right, see how it's lighting the floor? So they're all interacting, but it's like layers, right? And so this is our layering system so that we can check out a map, and I could be working on my map and you could be working in your map. But we're all changing this persistent map, the map that's always there. All right, so this is just how to like kind of divide and conquer. So that's cool, but we're not really using the collaborative template just yet. To make this inner cone come out. There we go. And bring up the pane. There we go. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to use that blueprint that we for bookmarks. And if I go to commands under collaborative viewer, blueprints, commands, you see one for the bookmark, right? Every single thing when I hit the spacebar menu is here for doing rotating and snapshots and stuff. You can just leverage these blueprints. And again, I left a link in the syllabus to a deeper dive into all of these blueprints. We're just going to use the bookmark underneath BPs. And just like you had material instances for materials, you can use what's like in object-oriented programming called inheritance. We have a parent blueprint that we can make a child of, right? And just like you did material instance, if I right-click on this, it's called a child blueprint class. Just like there was a material instance of a material class, and this will inherit all the properties of the bookmark. The bookmark has a lot of code in there, and we're not getting into code. And at least for this session, we'll get into code for some other things. So we're just going to go ahead and create the blueprint class, and I'm going to call this one BP Toddmark. This is my bookmark. And the bookmark is essentially a transport code. So you transport to it, and it's a camera, so you can frame it. So when you transport, you're aligned exactly in the viewport that you want, right? And we're using this as a location scouting tool. All right. It's not in the level yet. If I want to be safe and make sure I put it in the right level, I can leave this level and just go to my level and line it up. Or I know that my level is the one that's active because it's bolded. And if I drag, first of all, I want to organize this correctly because the collaborative viewer has its own assets and we have our folder called assets. All right. So in this blueprints folder, I'm going to take Todd and then move it to our blueprints folder. I want to move. I don't want to make a copy. I just want to make a move. Cool. So in the project, when we get done with this class session, when you open up the project, you should see BP Toddmark, my map, in my material in the base material, which I'll call base color, and then you guys can work off of those. As you see, it has little red check marks next to it. The red is because it can be added. It's marked as something that's new, and I could submit that via source control right now if I wanted to. All right, and then I can release those files, and you guys can pull them down. So let's add in that bookmark. You see, it is a camera right here. I could pin that to make sure I'm always looking through it, or I can pilot it and then just frame it the way I want it. And I just want to look at my little object here. Make sure I eject out. And this thing always happens. I was hoping this would be fixed in 4.27, and it's not fixed. What it did is, for some reason, it scaled itself up to 10,000. I just hit that reset button, and now it's not crazy big. If you have that issue, come back to me, but I just reset it back down. For some reason, it scales up to 10,000. I was hoping that would be solved in 4.27. Oh, well. Anyway, so I now have that camera, that bookmark, and then I'll save all. And if I hit play, and I hit spacebar, go to my bookmarks. Now there should be one for Toddmark. Let's see. Create bookmark. No, where's mine? Let's see. Let's save all. Oh, bookmark name. We have to put down here. Save. Let's try it one more time. Spacebar. Bookmark. There you go. BP Toddmark. So now you have to add in that text. And when I click on it, I warp to me. Right? And then when I figure out the whole connectivity issue, then everyone should be able to select that, and we can all do a location scouting session together. All right. So the final trick was that it didn't matter what I called the bookmark. The bookmark name is here. It looks like the new system is to hit play, spacebar, say bookmark. You can create a bookmark. Let's try this. BP test. Say add. And now spacebar, BP test takes us here. So apparently that's a new way of creating bookmarks as well. This is the joy of live coding, that you can just do it that way. It won't be in your level though. So you would have to then find the world outliner. So go back to viewing options, see everything. Oh, I see. That's if I want to do it dynamically. I can make a bookmark while we're hitting play. It'll show up on everyone else's computer. It's not saved to the project, just like measurements were saved to the project. Okay, so let's just do it the way we were doing it before and make our own. But that's cool to know that you can dynamically make new bookmarks. Cool. And then we say, hey, check out this thing. Where are you? Come here and find me here. Cool. So the whole point of this exercise is to practice file management. Flex a little bit of the inheritance of blueprints and materials, and then getting caught up with zero tier and version control. Now, I can submit it this way. It's a little bit slower, but it's going to check everything I've done, and then it'll put a little window here that I can write my message to. I could say, Todd added LVL Todd and assets. And then these things are added, and it's doing something with my engine configs, which doesn't really matter. And then I could choose to keep the files checked out. I don't. I want to return them so everyone else has them, and I hit submit. And then now it'll upload. So if I go back to the syllabus while it's doing that business, we can see that the homework for today is to get SVN checkout, right? Connect Unreal to source control inside of it, and then to make material from the base color that has your name. Choose your favorite color, your least favorite color, doesn't matter. Make a little level for yourself. Add a primitive with the material instance to it, and then make a copy of the BP bookmark with your name and up there, and then watch out for the weird glitch where it goes up to 10,000. And then make sure you upload it, and then we'll try to pull before class. Maybe we'll even try to do a cutoff of like everyone should have this done by noon next Wednesday, so that we can all make sure that we can pull ahead of time. And then we'll do the brainstorming next week, and we'll do live mocap and all that kind of stuff. Cool. Pretty straightforward, but it's good for us to go through it and make sure that we've done everything ourselves. Any questions about this stuff? Well, thanks for again being guinea pigs and testing out this space. I think it's fun to use the space, to use the mocap system here. All these hiccups I'll figure out and we'll sort out. Things like the internet connectivity and things like that. We'll solve those issues, but yeah, we'll be back here next week for doing live mocap with the Unreal Engine. Cool. Any questions? All right. Yeah. It's going to be here except for the week of Thanksgiving. We'll do it on Zoom. But yeah, it's gonna be here because of the mocap system. If it's some sort of issue, you just let me know. Cool.